What up, Animal Expert? How are you, buddy? I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Good to see you. What the fuck, over? Oh no. One of the fucking trolls unsubscribed from me. That's gonna fucking destroy the whole channel. What up, Keon? How are you, buddy? Sorry. Come on, guys. If you like monocled cobras, smash that like button. If you hate monocled cobras, smash that like button. If you're not sure, smash that like button. You're at a hotel? Crap. What are you doing there, little man? Alright, guys. So, some of the regulars around here know how I do things here and stuff. So, go ahead, let's bow our heads for a second and let's begin with a brief prayer. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to learn about your creation, especially the ones that demand our respect and attention. We ask for safety, we ask for wisdom, we ask for steady hands and calm minds as we work with and discuss venomous animals. Help us never confuse confidence with carelessness and curiosity with recklessness. Amen. Now, now that we've asked for safety, because trust me, this is not, the species that you freestyle around. Let's talk about one of the most iconic, recognizable, and absolutely unapologetic snakes on the planet. It's the monocled cobra. They are scientifically known as Najacoethia. The monocled cobra is basically what most people picture when they hear the word cobra. If you weren't drawn, a cobra from memory, hood flared, staring into your soul saying, "Don't try me," you probably just drew a monocled cobra. They get their name from that single round marking on the back of their neck called the hood. Not, not two eyes like a spectacle cobra, just one bold circle, one monocle, one eye. Almost like nature saying, "I'm watching you very closely." And let me tell you, when that hood comes up in real life, your brain immediately goes, "Oh, this was a bad decision." Monocled cobras are native to South and Southeast Asia, places like Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and even parts of India. These snakes are incredibly adaptable. They live in the forest, the rice paddies, agricultural lands, villages, and even sometimes way closer to people than anyone is comfortable with. This isn't some rare jungle only snake that, you'll never encounter. This is a cobra that shows up where people live, where they work, and where they sleep, which is exactly why it has the reputation it does. In some regions, they are one of the leading causes of cobra envenomation. And that's not because they're evil. It's because they're bold, common, and just not interested in being messed with. An adult monocled cobra usually averages 4 to 5 feet long, but don't let size fool you. It's not a, long snake equals dangerous snake situation. This is a confidence problem with venom. Their coloration varies, olive, brown, gray, and black, and some can be absolutely stunning, just like this leucistic that you are looking at now. But regardless of the color, the attitude stays the same. Monocled cobras are very alert, they're super intelligent, and absolutely mind-blowingly defensive. When they're threatened, they don't panic, they don't flail. They rise up, they flare that hood, they lock eyes with you, and they clearly communicate. You got some fucking time to rethink your life decisions here. Now, if you ignore that warning, they are fast. I mean, they're an extremely fast snake. Now, let's talk about the venom because, this is where monocled cobras stop being cool looking snakes and start being serious business. Their venom is primarily neurotoxic, meaning it attacks the nervous system. Early symptoms of envenomation can include, like drooping eyelids, slurred speech, difficulty breathing, and without treatment, and even sometimes with treatment, you end up with respiratory failure and paralysis. And here's what makes monocled cobras especially dangerous. They are known, for high venom yields and dry bites. So you're just not guaranteed either way. They can either bite you and inject an entire load of venom, or they can bite you and inject no venom. It's sort of a crapshoot. This is not a maybe it injected venom species. This is a you should already be heading to the hospital species, even if you might think it's a dry bite. Because with a neurotoxic bite, a lot of the times there's not any pain, so you don't know. And you're standing there for, the next several hours staring in the mirror wondering if you're going to live.
Anti-venom does exist for this snake, but timing is very, very critical, you know. Respect, preparedness, and proper protocols are non-negotiable with these guys. You know, these snakes are not a YouTube dare, you know, they're not a flex. They're not a hold my beer kind of animal. You know, now people always ask, is the monocle cobra a spitter? And that's sort of a tricky answer. The answer is sometimes they are, depending on the locality. Some populations can spit venom with impressive accuracy. In fact, our buddy Bob spits. Bob spits all the time. The good news about Bob is Bob is blind, so he does not spit very accurately like some can. So the smart approach with these guys is simple, you know, just assume that they can spit. Because nothing ruins your day faster than realizing, you know, you should have worn eye protection after the venom hits your face. One thing that doesn't get talked about enough is how aware monocle cobras are. These snakes are, you know, able to just like read body language incredibly well, you know. They track movement. They remember things that stress them out. And they don't fucking bluff. You know, they're not aggressive and they're not defensive for fun, but they are very decisive. If a monocle cobra stands its ground, it's because it believes it has to. And once it commits, there's no hesitation. This is why experienced handlers, you know, treat them with extreme caution and why beginners should admire them from behind glass. Come on, guys, hit that like button for me, please. In many parts of Asia, cobras, including monocle cobras, hold very deep cultural and spiritual significance. You know, they appear in mythology, you know, folklore, and even religious symbolism. Some cultures, you know, revere them. Others fear them, but most respect them. And honestly, that respect is well earned. You know, because few animals combine beauty, intelligence, and danger so cleanly into one package. So, let's be real for a second. A monocle cobra does not care how long you've kept snakes. It don't care how many followers you have. It don't care what gloves you're wearing or how confident you feel today. The snake wakes up every morning like, I have venom, I have speed, and I have opinions. And those opinions are usually, please leave me alone. The monocle cobra is not a villain, it's not a monster, it's a perfectly designed animal doing exactly what it evolved to do. It demands respect, it demands knowledge, and it absolutely demands discipline. If you give it space, it usually gives you space. If you give it reason to defend itself, it will. So whether you're a keeper, a researcher, or just someone who, you know, appreciates reptiles from a safe distance, remember this. The monocle cobra doesn't need to chase you. It doesn't need to threaten you. It simply needs you to make one bad fucking decision. And that's why it deserves our attention and our respect. What up, Jamie? What up, Armando? It's been a while since you've seen her around. Hassan Sajari. You have it exactly right. This is a Samoan Tropicana flatjaw snake. Bye, animal expert. Zombule is muted. Awesome, awesome, good deal. Well, he's the one I accidentally muted that day. Then I'll get it figured out. Let me get it figured out here. Ugh, fuck. Yeah, I'm doing great, brother. How about you? Sorry, guys, I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm trying to unmute somebody here. No, you fucking pig. Come on. Come on, you pig fucker. Come on, you pig fucker. No? What the fuck? Zombule is not on the list here. What the fuck? if Zombula's timed out, you know, there's nothing I can do there. I looked, he's not blocked, so it must be a temporary timeout or some shit. I don't know. I mean, I can't figure it the fuck out. Let me try to do something else here and see if I can get him. What's his exact screen name? I can find it. Never mind. Let me find it. Just type trolls on. Gotcha. I ain't seeing this fucking name on nothing. What the fuck is going on here? There it is, 5253. What the fuck, man? No. How the fuck? Alright. Look, I'm gonna send a fucking email to Zombula here because there's gotta be another name. Let me see here. Let me. Yeah, that's what I just tried typing and it won't show up as that either. So if there was an old name that he used to use, I just sent an email to. Nothing. Let's try that one. Nah, yeah, see, it won't do shit. Fucking weird shit, man. This is certainly a family. Yes, the snakes eat once a week. Nah, it's no hassle. I'm trying to figure it the fuck out, but there ain't shit. Tell them to try again. Or tell them to go comment on one of my shorts or something and see if I get that comment. I The other thing, YouTube says to close your app out altogether and come back in and see if that fixes it. That's alright, sunshine. A lot of people are shit.
lot of shit. Yes, I got that comment. Like I say, it's either that or it could be a full 24-hour timeout or something, but yeah, you may be timed up. Alright, Bobby Joe, I'm going to have a real quick chat with you. This is the absolute last time I am ever going to say this to you again. If you're going to come around here and you're going to chat with people, we appreciate it. We like to have you around. But we are not going to deal with any drama here anymore at all. So if I have to, if there's one more episode of you getting mad with somebody or being an idiot about stuff, I am going to block you permanently from being able to comment. So please stop and enjoy. That is Casper. He's here in spirit. That's good. That's timed out. I saw that I timed somebody out the other day on accident, and fucking, I think yesterday, and I couldn't figure out who it was. Zombula, try now. Try messaging now, Zombula. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this snake's depressed. No luck. I have no clue then. Tell him to check and see if he's got me blocked, maybe. That might be the problem. I got you. It's all good. I ain't doing shit else, so it's all good. But either way, fuck it. Fuck it. Worry about it later. Worry about it later, dude. Yeah, maybe it's hungry. I might be out of snake pellets. I'm out of snake pellets right now. I'm gonna have to get some snake pellets tomorrow. Black-faced timber rattlesnake. Right behind my trouser snake. Nah, I still haven't got them yet, Bobby Joe. They'll be here soon, though. We gotta wait till the weather's just right. It's not safe to ship them when they're cold, when it's cold out. Yeah. Yeah, they like their snake pellets with a little bit of salt. They don't really care for pepper, but they like the salt on them. They definitely like the salt. Yeah, of course. Don't you like salt on your food? You don't like it on your rats? Yeah. No, Tom, I don't have any, rodents tonight, buddy. I might have a couple rat pinkies or something, but I'll have to take a look. I'll take a look and see, and I'll follow them out. I know I've got a couple, so I'll follow them out here, and we'll give Casper something. Yeah, on Christmas, guys? Fucking sickos. Yeah, we'll give them a couple rat tails. It's going to take, about 10-15 minutes to thaw them out. change your YouTube name to Comic Book Guy. Yeah, some people do hate snakes for that reason, Armando, for sure. Absolutely. But guys, we talked just a little bit ago. That's a monocled cobra, Armando. But we talked just a little bit ago, about this guy here. Hang on, my damn video froze up. What the fuck? My chat ain't moving or nothing. But anyway, whatever. I can't see the chat right this second, but I'm gonna talk with y'all a little bit here. I want to talk a little bit about genetics in snakes, But don't worry, we're not going, like full scientist or, breaking out a whiteboard or anything like that. It's just, genetics, the snake keeper way, I guess. The kind of snakes that you see, in your racks, your tubs, your collection, and sometimes that one animal that makes you stop and say, wait a minute, what happened here? When we talk about snake genetics, what we're really talking about is, how traits get passed down. Things like, color, pattern, eye color, scale appearance, size, even behavior tendencies, all of that starts with genetics, Every snake carries a genetic, instruction manual, basically written in DNA. And depending on, the genes get turned on or turned off or mixed together, you get wildly different results. And that's why two snakes of the same species can look completely different, and why one, clutch can, produce animals that look like they came from different planets, Now, to understand, like, the snake you're looking at here, which is leucistic, so let's try to understand the difference between leucism and albinism, We need to start with pigment to discuss these things. So, snakes, like most animals, they get their coloration from specialized cells, called chromatophores. And what chromatophores, include is like melanophores, for the blacks and the browns, which we call melanin. Xanthophores, for the yellow pigments, and erythrophores, which are your reds and oranges. And then the last, one, I can't say that well, so I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's like iridophores, and that is the, ones that reflect light, that give it that shiny, I guess metallic look. So when everything is working normally, the pigments, combine to create the wild type or the normal appearing snake,
that nature intended. Um, Sometimes, though, genetics, for lack of better words, throws a curveball. Like example, albinism in snakes. Let's start there. Let's start with albinism, because albinos get talked about a lot, and they're misunderstood just as much. Albinism is caused by a lack of melanin. The snake has, melanophores, but the genetic mutation prevents melanin from being produced properly. Um, so what that does, or what it means visually is no black or brown pigment. Reds, yellows, oranges, they become much brighter. You know, the patterns are still visible with albinos. Their eyes are usually red or pink, and that's because of the blood vessels that you can see, in the eyes or behind the eyes. An albino snake is not white. It's actually very colorful. It's just missing the dark tones. And I guess that's why, example, albino rattlesnakes look like glowing pastel artwork to me. And, the albino cobras look like they were just basically dipped in highlighter fluid or something, or highlighter ink. Generally, most forms of albinism in snakes are recessive traits. And like we've talked a little bit, recessive means both parents must carry the gene. You can have snakes that look normal but are heterozygous or hets for albino. You breed two hets together and suddenly, boom, albinos show up in a clutch. That's when, a lot of reptile keepers get real quiet and start counting eggs twice. Now, let's talk a little bit about leucism, which it's a whole different animal, sometimes literally. Leucism is not about pigment production, but pigment distribution. And as like I explained there with, the albinos, it's about pigment production, but with leucism, it's more about pigment distribution. In a leucistic snake, pigment, cells either don't migrate properly during development or fail to populate parts or all of the body. And the result, is like what you're seeing here, something that's either partial or full white appearance. Normal colored eyes, which is black here, as you see on this guy. And it's a big difference from albinism, Albinism, they got them red eyes, but there is pigment on a leucistic. So often, they can even have ghosted or faint patterns, but a lot of the times they have no pattern at all, like you see here with Casper. And that's why the leucistic animals often look, solid white. Sometimes they'll look cream colored or pale pink, but they still have dark eyes. Leucism, can range from partial, like white patches or reduced pattern to full leucism, where the snake looks almost entirely white. And here's a pretty cool part, two leucistic snakes from different species can look almost identical, even though genetically they got there in totally different ways. And I have explained to y'all in the past, like, a good example is like this Casper here that you're looking at now. He is what's called a Joliffe leucistic. Now, Luna is what is called a diamond leucistic. So if I was to breed Casper and Luna together, I would get a bunch of normal looking monocle cobras. I would not produce any leucistics. Leucism versus albinism, really needs some clearing of the confusion, because people mix these two up all the time, So to make it simple,
If a snake is missing black pigment, but it's still colorful with red or pink eyes, it's albino. Mostly white or pale with normal eyes is leucism. So they're different genes, different mechanisms, and different outcomes. You gotta think of albinism as the paint factory shutting down one color. The leucism as the leucism as the delivery trucks never showing up. In captivity, these genetic traits are fascinating. They really just help us understand inheritance, selective breeding, and just how complex even simple genetics can be. Now, in the wild, these traits, often come with serious challenges. A bright albino or leucistic animal, stands out like a neon fucking sign that says eat me. Camouflage is very important. Camouflage lives matter. Thermoregulation matters. UV sensitivity matters. And, survival is harder when you're glowing in the sunlight. That's why a lot of albino and leucistic snakes in nature are extremely rare. And when they are found, they're often juveniles that haven't had time to face long-term survival pressures yet. Now, here's where we, slow down and get serious for a moment. Just because we can produce certain genetic traits doesn't always mean that we should, especially when we don't understand the consequences. Some genetic mutations can be linked to like vision issues, neurological problems, reduced visibility, developmental defects. Responsible breeding means understanding, and understanding whether, a trait is purely cosmetic or whether it affects the quality of life, and whether stacking genes creates unintended problems. Genetics is powerful, and like anything powerful, it deserves respect. At the end of the day, genetics is why, snakes are endlessly fascinating. It's why, one monocle cobra looks jet black, and another looks gold, and another looks albino, and another one looks like it fell out of a damn snow cloud. Leucism and albinism are not flaws. They're just reminders, I guess, that nature experiments constantly. Most experiments don't last, but the fact that they happen at all is incredible. Every snake, whether it's wild type or a morph, they have a genetic story, millions of years in the making. And when we work with these animals, we're not just keepers, we're observers of biology in real time. So, the next time you see a white snake, or a red-eyed snake, or something that makes you stop and look twice, just remember, you're not looking at color, you're looking at genetics doing what it's always done, rolling the dice and seeing what happens. And sometimes, it rolls something out that's truly unforgettable. Armando, I'm sure there is, but I can't think of any off the top of my head right this second. was a good question though, man. I just, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I just don't have an answer to that one. Yeah, I'm thinking, and I really just can't come up with nothing. The rodent's got about 5 minutes left here, and we'll be ready to try to feed somebody. What up, Jamie? Casper decided to get in his water. I think Zombula's trolling me. I think that bitch is trolling the shit out of me. What up, Patrick? Jamie, make sure you hit that like button there, fucker. Yeah, I banned Zombula. He was a fucking spy. Filthy fucking spies. Yeah, there's spies over here, man. They're spying on me. Yes, sir. Yep. I don't know, man. Yeah, Mama's on grounding them. Oh yeah, Casper just shed a few days ago. Again. That's all that little snake does is he eats, shits, and sheds. And repeats.
These rodents are almost fucking ready. Almost ready. Disgusting fucking troll. Disgusting ass troll. Almost, Casper. Almost, Bubba. I'm working as fast as I can, little dude. Yeah, fast as I can, Bubba. How about you, Sir Hissington? What's up, little sidewinder? What's up, little dude? Here, let's go over here, little sidewinder. Okay. There you go. What's up, Snitchy? What's up, Snitchy Snitch? What's up, little snitch? Hey, Sue. How's your little lizard doing, Sue? Is the mouth rot healing up? Or what happened with that anyway? He's doing good. Awesome. Awesome. So have you gave the medication orally or a shot? You would just catch them by hand in the wild, Armando. Yeah, just catch them by hand. I mean, I bet you there's some kind of trap, but I don't know. I mean, but there's no doubt there's some sort of trap. No doubt. What up, Steve? Have you gone to the wild for snakes? Yes, actually, I have. I don't have any wild caught stuff from the United States. I do have 3 wild caught animals. Well, I'm sorry, I got 1 from the United States, and 2 of them are from West Africa that are wild caught. I don't like wild caught, for the pet trade. Unfortunately, every now and then it is necessary. I actually had got a wild caught timber rattlesnake this past summer to add new blood into my habitat. Let's see here. Vet instructions were what you said, every 72 hours. Receptionist said 12. Yeah, good deal. Good deal. I was going to say that was, way too frequently. All right, guys. Here she goes. Casper, you ready, Bubba? Huh? You ready, Bubba? Let me get the tape off. Let me get the tape off. There we go, Bubba. Ready? Oh, shit. Come on. You just keep your fucking face back here, boy. Fuck. No, 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 no. Come on, Dick. Hang on. Hang on, Dick. Come on, man. Casper. Hey. Hey, Casper. Hey. Oh, you win. You little mouse. Now, you will see Casper hold on to this for a little while. Hang on. Fucking charger. There we go. Let's do this right here. There we go. Okay. So anyway, you will see Casper hold on for just a little bit to that guy. And he'll make sure it's all the way deceased. In a couple of minutes he will eat. Yes, sir. Yep, he's envenomating him right now. Oh yeah, a whole lot faster than Mayweather. Awesome, that's good that he's eating, Sue. That's really good. But as far as fucking Tom and Jerry, fucking Jerry. But as far as wild caught, like I say, I did, collect one timber rattlesnake from the wild this past summer. And that is the first time in 11 years that I have kept one. I do hunt every year for timber rattlesnakes. But I do it because I tag them with radio frequency tags. They're RFID tags. And basically I track their movements and, basically their brumation time, how far from the den they travel, different things like that. And, but this year I did keep a male. He was 52 inches long. He had 25 subcaudal scales. He was a very large black phase male. He is in the outdoor habitat out there at my place. He has adapted very well. He is brumating right now, so we won't see him again until probably about the middle of May, maybe the end of May. Down south here, I'd be leaning more towards the middle of May. There's even a possibility of sooner than that because it gets warm so much quicker. So how much deadly or lethal venom would this snake have? This snake right here would certainly have enough venom to probably kill, I don't know, probably, there's probably enough venom there to kill 3 or 4 grown men. Oh, no, Jesus, no. Not 10 ounces, but I would say, now this is just off of the top. This is a guess. But I would say it would probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 25 milligrams, maybe. Yeah, I figured you were kidding about the ounce thing. But, I was just trying to tell you in ounces and shit. because like an adult monocled cobra, is usually between about 250 to about 350 milligrams. Some of the real big ones, like a 6-footer, can do up to 400 milligrams of venom, sometimes even a little more. So I'd say for this late little baby, you'd be between 25 and 50 milligrams. Now, would 3 drops of venom be enough to kill a person? Yeah, it probably would be. Yeah, if you didn't get any treatment, absolutely. There are several guys that self-immunize. And the way you self-immunize, and again, this is just for educational purposes. You should not do this. Do not do this. I am not giving you medical advice. If you take medical advice from me, you are stealing. So, with that being said, the way they self-immunize is they would take, example, 1 drop of this neurotoxic venom to maybe 10,000 drops of water, and then they would inject a little bit of that, and then they would, slowly weaken the amount of water that goes into it over a period of time until they are taking a full injection of venom. Where'd you get banned from, Ashley? Bobby Joe, it's the way you said that you're in your bedroom thinking about her. When adults say stuff like that, it sounds very strange. That's all. We know that you didn't mean it in any kind of strange way, but it is strange to hear it from an adult. Oh, from the Sicko stream. I didn't even know he was live. He unbanned you, though? What the fuck? Oh, shit. Shit, who'd we just get rid of? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit, guys. I'm neglecting y'all. Let me check my chat. I'm sorry. I got fucking sidetracked. He likes to eat in private. Yes, he does. He, but I think he's going to be ready for another one. I'll get him another one here. Yeah, he's live ranting and raving, fucking. But this is why I hate to feed, you know, just a couple, because all the rest of them, you know, want to eat too, and I don't have enough rodents for everybody. But that's all right. We're gonna feed these two anyway. Yes, they do. They get excited. Casper. Casper the silly white snake. No, Casper, don't get me. Help, help. Sheesh.
What story are you talking about, Sonia? For some odd reason, every chapter come in really slow. Oh. Ow. Excuse me. Yeah, 9/11 is a kind of a heart-wrenching story. I'm doing good. Ouch.
Where's he blow that snot rocket to? Like,
Oh, man.
he has blown a snot
I
rocket.
hate allergies. I really do.
It ain't allergies, you dumb fuck. It's the vape. I hit the vape fucking a couple of times to try to look like your stupid ass, and
I'm gonna be a mess tonight.
and my nose been fucked. Huh, girl. Huh, girl. How are you? Hi, pretty snake. Hello, pretty girl. Hi, pretty snake. Hello.
By the way, guys, if you guys did not watch the Chocolate Milk Challenge, go back and watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. He failed. He failed that challenge.
Yeah, that day was heart-wrenching to say the least.
What's up with these comments, man? Why can't I read the comments? What the fuck? Ay. Uh-oh. No, you don't, Casper. No, you don't, Casper. We're gonna watch you eat, buddy. Story time. Story time. Here we are. Whoop, whoop. What the fuck? Did he quit? No, there he is.
I was with my uncle, and he lives in Manhattan. So basically, I was not too far from where it happened at, and we heard about everything. We came down and started helping. We're trying to get people away from all the debris and the smoke and all that kind of shit. By the time we got done, our clothes looked like turned to soot. 2001, oh shit, I remember. That was years ago. I think that was about 18 or 19, or I graduated 2001, 5/47/2001. And 4 months after that, so yeah, I would have just turned 18.
Wow, bro. Wow. Wow. You know, this is the shit that really makes me hate the fucking dude. Seriously. These kind of fucking sickening stories.
Pretty close to my 18th birthday. 4 months after. I was public school. My school was like one of the smallest schools all around the nation. We had, I think we had altogether, I think it was 128 people in my class.
Oh,
That's pretty small.
128 people in your class, and that's one of the smallest fucking schools in fucking the nation?
Most schools.
How about the school in my hometown where you tried to scare me and send a street view picture of the wrong side of the fucking street, fucking in the wrong end of it?
Biology.
There was a graduating class of 27 students.
Of course, everybody has to do PE, physical education. Funny is, our gym class was not ever hard. It was all easy stuff. No, I never got in touch with any of them. But, shit, I left her what I was saying again. Yeah, like, when I was in
Oh,
high school,
goodness.
we had, like I said, I think it was like 128 people that graduated from my class.
You said 127.
And one guy that I went to school with, I think I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name though. Anyway, one of the guys from my class, his name is Wayne.
Dwayne
Still
Shaker.
Chamber or not. I think still Chamber. But on the last day of school for our graduation, he sang a song called "Time of Your Life" by Green Day. And he literally just killed it. Almost everybody in my class on graduation day was in tears because of it. And if you guys remember your graduating day, you realize, that's the end of your story for school. That's the end of your story for your school years. And it's a whole other chapter of your life. It's another changing of your life, and you're going a different direction.
It's not called Time of Your Life anyway, asshole. It's called Good Riddance.
It's a whole different life changer. And funny thing is, like a couple of days later after I graduated, when it finally hit me, like, oh shit, I'm done with school. So a couple days later after we graduated, we all went out for pizza and stuff like that. And it was actually starting to hit me
Later, Armando. I'm about to feed this guy next.
Later, Armando.
Yeah, I think we better go to extra, guys. Alright, so we'll see you over there at extra. Yeah, we'll see you there in a minute.